Hey, welcome back everybody to Sparkyz versus Woongjin Stars, and this is going to be an ace match. Before we get into that real quickly, MagFest is coming up on the 1st. Show up at the door, it'll be great. If you are coming, send me an email at sparkyzcast@gmail.com and we'll get together. It'll be awesome. Quick recap of what's happened so far in this series. We've had Lita stomping on Piano because Piano threw away all of his SCVs and vultures into Lita's tanks. We had, let me see, Harangi stomping on Gm5 with just superior macro management. Game 3, 0 just 12 pill, or excuse me, 0 9 pooled Hogel's 12 pool. And in Game 4, Soulkey just Mutalisk harassed the hell out of Crocus. Anyways, we are getting to the ace match, and it's going to be these two guys, Lita versus Free. Lita, like I said before, has already played in this series. He stomped on Piano pretty thoroughly. Well, really, Piano stomped himself right at the feet of Lita with just an awkward timing attack with vultures and SCVs. So Lita already with a little bit of boost of momentum, getting an early win very quickly, and doing an awesome little ceremony at the end of that. Now the game is on the line though, and he has to, win this for his team. He already did this once this season against Woongjin Stars, except he beat Zero. He beat Zero twice in that set, so that is entirely why Zero is not playing right now. Instead, we have Free, so this is going to be Lita as the red Terran in the southwest, and that will be Free in the northeast as the yellow Protoss. This map is Match Point, and Match Point, I think, underwent a little bit of a change between round 1 and round 2. That change being that they moved the gas at the natural expansion a little bit, so that it makes it harder, if it's possible at all, to siege and shell up the ridge into the natural expansion and hit that gas. So if anything, they made this even more Protoss favored in Protoss versus Terran, although Terran can control their natural expansion pretty easily with a couple of siege tanks, and siege tanks can really hurt on people trying to come in to that natural expansion. They can also really deny that other expansion that is just outside of the main base. So if you're in the southwest, it is just slightly east of there, at, like, I don't know, I'm going to say the 6 or 7 o'clock position, while that, maybe 1 o'clock position in the northeast is that mirror. Anyways, so far, pretty standard going on. Actually, Lita going and scouting very quickly for any sort of cheese just outside of his natural expansion. He doesn't want to be cheesed out of this match, that is for sure. However, you got to be, even though Lita has already won a game in this match. Oh, I'm really excited. I cannot slow my mind down to actually speak in coherent sentences. Anyways, since Lita already has won a game in this match, you'd think that he has a little bit of extra momentum, as opposed to Free, who was not played. And, honestly, I'm not entirely sure why they didn't play him. Maybe they just wanted to give Gm5 a little bit of extra playtime. Who knows? But Free has not played, but you've got to be a little bit worried about Lita, just because he has struggled pretty bad historically against Protoss. He is so far 0-2 this season against Protoss players, losing to Cal, and I'm not sure who the other one was. But also in his lifetime, it's by far his weakest statistical matchup at just 47% against Protoss, while he, in contrast, he is 60% overall, and 66 and 63% respectively against Terran and Zerg. So very excellent against Terran and Zerg, but just kind of average against Protoss. A little bit worrisome. Free, on the other hand, is more of just an average player, maybe a little bit above average, I would say. But he's 55% lifetime, for instance, and a pretty solid 58% against Terran. Lita has gotten a scout into the main base and is actually hiding it a little bit. It looks like it is able to scout out a pylon getting placed, but Free finally found that SCV scout. I don't know if he knew about it in the first place, but anyways, Lita with a little bit of trickery, but it's not going to pay out, and even if it did pay off, it wouldn't be that critical. He is going to lose that SCV, but Free has not really gotten any scouting information. His first probe scout was denied by a barracks and supply depot wall off, and then he was chased away by the first Marine, and he has not seen anything in the base. I don't even know if he knows that this early expansion is going up for Lita. However, he is putting up an early expansion of his own, so feeling comfortable enough in his defenses to go for just a 1 gateway, I believe. Pretty fast expand. It is usually pretty easy to defend your natural expansion, especially it'll be even easier now that they don't let siege tanks siege upwards onto the gas, but those siege tanks can still siege upwards into you know, whatever forces are up there or anything. But however, a single vulture sneaking in, and Free has absolutely nothing to defend against this. So far it hasn't gotten any kills, doing a little bit of nice probe dancing. Finally, 2 Dragoons coming on to snipe off that vulture, so Lita does lose 1 vulture, and if he had focus fired just a little bit longer on one of those probes, he would have been able to probably take out 2 probes, but still 1 probe for a vulture is a pretty decent trade. You know, obviously a vulture is slightly more expensive, but you know, with the mining time loss by losing that probe, it kind of evens out. So, and besides that, he also gets a perfect scout. He sees that the natural expansion is up and will be running pretty shortly, and you know, he sees what all forces that Free has, so pretty nice little play right there. 1 kill on that tank. I guess that must have been a probe that was coming up, but the first 2 Dragoons are coming in. There is a bunker to defend, but it looks like range has completed for those Dragoons. 2 tanks now for Lita, and I don't think that Free will be able to continue this pressure at the front door with 2 tanks there. Siege mode is probably imminent. Second gateway as well as observatory up for Free, so he is going for scouting information before any harassment, no quick reavers. But yeah, both players playing pretty standard. It looks like finally that second factory is going to go down for Lita. Not quite the quick aggression that he was poised to do against Piano early in this match. He had gone for a pretty early expansion and was able to defend it with a couple of tanks, and then he put down a couple of tanks right then, and he was about to put down he did put down a starport and was about to mass up some wraiths and go in for a wraith harassment right when Piano just threw the game away. I guess it was an interesting attempt at an attack, just sending his SCVs in to distract the tanks while vultures came in, but Lita was able to pull out some great micro there and completely defend that. So hopefully that momentum will still be here, and when the time comes, he will be able to focus fire his tanks perfectly and place his vultures and his spider mines in the perfect place, and more importantly, he needs to be able to defend against the Reaver that is being produced at the moment. The shuttle is already produced, the Reaver is on the way, it might pop right now as we are looking at it. Okay, I'm going to stop waiting for it. Anyways, not sure exactly where Lita will go from here. Probably get a starport and try to get some dropships on this map, I would think. I think some vulture harassment might be very effective, just because it is easy to defend that natural expansion because it's got a lot of choke points and ramps outside of it. But if you are able to get units into the main base, it's hard. There's a pretty narrow choke point between the main base and the natural expansion, so it's hard to bring units from the natural expansion back in, especially those big dumb Dragoons that I've been talking about. Third and fourth gateways going up now, and Vulture sneak by going in. He's got 3 Vultures all the way in, but that is a lot of Dragoons that were hanging out there for Free, so Free is going to be in a good position to defend against this, and fortunately Lita will be able, however, to scout out the Stargate and I guess it was a Templar Archive, or no, a Citadel of Dune that was being built for free. Lita also trying to take an economic edge right now. I think he is poised to take his third base, but that first Reaver is coming out. He's sending a couple of tanks in to help support in case that Reaver does go down to the to the main base, which it is doing. A couple of mines being planted as well. Is this Reaver going to get a shot off? Yes, it does. It hits the tank, but it's not going to be quite enough to do any serious damage. That tank is going to live, and the shuttle is being forced to leave. A couple of missile turrets out near the natural expansion to help destroy that shuttle if it gets anywhere near. So Lita, very nice defense against that early Reaver harassment. The Reaver, however, is going up to that third base that Lita is trying to set up over in the 9 o'clock position, and this is much more vulnerable but much less valuable. There are no SCV